Welcome to the River Cruising Masterclass. Today we're with my friend who wants to be in the shadows. But we are on this trip and I thought it'd be great to do an episode of River Cruising Might Not Be For You If. So my friend and I are on this trip. We've had a great time. We're not going to dissuade that fact. But she has realized that river cruising is not the vacation for her. And so every vacation is not for every person. And we all should know that we have very limited holiday time and we want to use it to the best way possible. So with this, I thought we would have a fun discussion about what she does or doesn't like. And I'll provide maybe some suggestions on if you like this and you still want to do it, here's how to do it. But it's really just going to be a fun conversation about how this trip might not be best for everyone. So I'd like to introduce my friend Kyla, who's in the shadows. So you can't see her if you are watching video, which is very few people. Most of the time, podcasts are audio. But for my views.
Hello.
Okay.
You've seen my pictures on this trip if you follow her.
Yeah. So
but we're fresh out of the shower and I just, hey, not my best self yet.
You're your best self all the time. Yeah. See, do you see how I did that?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's first just discuss what was your expectation before coming on?
I wouldn't say I had expectations so much as I had ideas. Overall the trip sounds so exciting, right? It's the holidays, there's Christmas markets, you're getting to go to several countries.
Yeah.
So you're excited, right? There's a lot of possibilities, right? And just a lot of potential life experiences that, ordinarily I might not have the opportunity to participate. So
I think we went to 10 markets in 7 days.
Yeah. So it's your excitement is high. And so I wouldn't say I had expectations, just excited about the possibilities.
Okay.
So I'd say I went into it open-minded because the only experience I have is one time I took an Alaska cruise on Celebrity. So that's my only cruise experience.
It's not what I recommend.
Obviously before I knew Sydney, okay?
I just like smaller ships now.
Yeah. Well, and Celebrity was smaller than a lot of the bigger ones, right? So you don't know what you don't know. And so this isn't what this podcast is about. But I was fine with that one.
You had the concierge class, so how can you say no with that?
Yes, an aft balcony. Yeah, I ruined for life. I can't do it again. Can't afford to do it again. But yes, it was a special experience.
Nice. Okay, so on the trip, what has been the biggest thing that you were? I'm gonna use my Toastmasters sandwich method, which is where you go dislike, like, dislike, like. So we'll end with our top like.
Okay.
Because we still have to end with a positive.
Okay.
So what was one of the things that you have realized that you don't like about?
So similar to Alaska, when you're cruising, when you are on land versus the water is completely out of your control. So there's an itinerary. So, perhaps you're arriving in a town or a city in the evening versus the daytime. So it's maybe you wanted to see something in the day, but you're not going to have the opportunity because it's night. And you don't have a chance to redo it the next day because generally you're headed somewhere else. So it's if you happen to be in, let's say, Madrid, Spain, for that evening, and the next day you're taking off for somewhere in France, right? You don't get that chance. So you have to go to Madrid that evening, but there might have been something you'd rather do daytime versus nighttime. So I'd say, first and foremost, is that kind of lack of autonomy for your scheduling.
Yes. You can argue, though, that unless you are someone who likes to fly by the seat of their pants, there has to be some sort of schedule on a vacation anyways.
Yes.
But I know that your plan for your family is to literally just spend a month somewhere so that you can be autonomous AF and literally be tomorrow I'm going to go to Lucerne because you wanted to spend a month.
Yeah.
So I think that's where just that personality difference is.
Definitely. And of course there's a trade-off in planning, right? If you are wanting to explore certain destinations or have experiences, it takes time, effort, whether it's yourself or a travel advisor, to do that, where the cruises have their pre-planned itineraries, which I think for a lot of people is nice because that, unknown is taken out, it's not a factor for them.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's probably my first and foremost thing I noticed right off the bat was, okay, well, when can I do this? Or really, you tell me when I get a chance to do this.
No, and I get that. So then what has been something that you've liked about this?
The ship is beautiful, of course.
They go all out for Christmas. You can see it right here, but this is just minuscule compared to everything they've done for decorations decorations.
Yeah. The decorations are beautiful. The ship is beautiful. The staff are very kind, accommodating. So that has been a very nice element to the travel. Right? Having those extra set of hands, they carried our luggage on board for us. Things like that have been really nice. Yeah.
No,
I wasn't sure if I'm supposed to give more than one positive for each layer sandwich. So
honestly, this is just kind of a conversation. I'm having her avoid the camera because she hates it so much.
That's so funny. You know, we all have our things.
I've just learned to love myself the way I am.
There you go.
Just out of the shower, no makeup and all. But if you want to see me super cute, check out my Facebook or my Instagram for the travel advisor, Sydney, because I am looking so cute and festive this week. And so is Kyla, because she's in my photos.
Yes,
we one day were Mrs. Claus and the elf. She said it was on accident. I did it on purpose.
Yeah, I had a green dress on. She had a red pantsuit on. So, you know, we were quite the pair, the festive pair.
Okay, so what was something else that you haven't liked?
Okay, food. And it's not that the food is bad. The food on board, you know, there's a lot of selection. There's a lot of, you know, okay, they can customize things to you. You know, you can order off the menu, or you can have things that are available kind of like the buffet. But one of the things I really enjoy with land travel is kind of getting that genuine experience, that authentic experience, eating local food. Yeah. And so definitely on the ship, they cater more towards, you know, the American diet. You know, like you can order a cheeseburger, French fries, you know, in the morning there's the crispy bacon. Whereas like if you're staying in a little hotel somewhere, like I was in Switzerland, and you know, the spread for breakfast was like, okay, well, here's an assortment of cheeses, some pickles, some salami, some prosciutto, local jams and jellies, you know, freshly baked croissants, you know, just different things than you would find on the ship. And so food, you know, dinners, I'd love to, you know, try the local food.
They do have some local things you can try, because for lunch today we had the Netherlands Dutch ballens, and then a couple days ago we had the like pasta thing from Germany. But it is, of course, you know, a mass-produced way, or like not a mass-produced, but like on
prepared for a larger group.
This is where we had this discussion yesterday, because we went to this wonderful little restaurant and it's that like vicious cycle, because you've paid for all your food on the cruise. And if we had the time, because we spent all day in Cologne yesterday, so we went out and had lunch. We did a couple of the Christmas markets and had meals there. But there's a part of you that's like, I've already paid for food on the ship. And that like dichotomy of like exploring and trying the foods locally versus doing that sort of thing. But it can be done. And if that's something that is your main priority, like, and that's what we did. We did a couple of stops on this trip where we purposefully like had lunch or another meal off the ship to do more of the local food experience.
Tell them what you ate yesterday.
I had this wonderful goulash, and then she had the schnitzel. And these two couples that were behind us were from Amsterdam, and they had been to this restaurant 5 times because it's so great. And last time they were there, it was almost like 90% local. So we felt like we found a secret. It's called the Peter's Beer Hall, and it was just right off of the Cologne area, but it was so good. And so those are things that you can do, but you also have to get out of your head that you're losing money by doing it if you do a river cruise, I think is another thing.
Yeah.
Because we also did that in Rudesheim, because we did the Rudesheim coffee experience off the ship, because the ship had it as well, but doing it by ourselves, so we got more of like the intimate experience and things like that.
And when we wanted to. Going back to the earlier point about when can you participate in some of these activities, it just so happened that the ship was offering that experience at like 8:45 at night the night before.
We're bitches.
We were like, we want to just relax, right? You've been going all day, so we wanted to relax. So instead of doing it at 8:45 at night, we waited till the next morning, and that's when we had the coffee. So
yeah. And so that's the other thing, is like, because you don't have to do all the excursions the cruise offers, because that day they were offering this like music museum, and neither one of us were interested in it. So that's why we just went and explored the beautiful, cute little town of Rudesheim and things of that nature. But you also, like the first day, I took the day off. And because some of us have FOMO, I'll admit to it. So we always want to do all the activities that the cruise ship offers, because she went to Basel, went to Lucerne, and it was just a very long day.
And, you know, truth be told, I wanted to veg out too. Like, it sounded really good. I had to pep talk myself into going. But that was literally the only day I was going to have on the cruise in Switzerland. So if I had missed Basel and Lucerne, I wasn't going to have a chance to see any of those places. So even though it was a shorter period of time and I was tired and I didn't feel like it, I rallied.
But I will argue with you on that point that even if you were like when you were doing your pre, you're like, I have to be at Sierra here and I have to be here at that time. So it's like the fact that you were only in like Switzerland for that one day on the cruise, that would be the fact even if you were on land for one day and you're like, I have to get all this stuff in. So
I guess it's still the point of like, if I wanted to take a day off, I was going to lose that time, right?
No matter what on a vacation you go, yeah.
So, I did pre-travel outside of the cruise for a few days, and I did Switzerland, a few different places in Switzerland. So that's why I was like, well, I did not do Basel or Lucerne pre because I knew I had it on the cruise. So if I didn't do it on the cruise, then I just wasn't going to see those spots. And I thought it was kind of funny if I'm getting on board the ship in Basel to not actually see Basel, right? So I thought, okay, I have to go see Basel because I'm getting on the boat. And then I had heard Lucerne was stunning, but I also wanted to see Basel, so I couldn't do the full day Lucerne because I wanted to see Basel, so I ended up doing half and half. So it was a long day, but I'm glad I went because, again, it felt important to me to see those places.
And the irony is I've been to Basel twice and have yet to explore.
Yeah. So it's like you've been to Basel.
I'm always like, I don't think we're old enough to say that we're never going to go back. Yeah. I know you have a different mentality on that. She's like, I'm going to see all of Switzerland because I'm not going to get another opportunity. And I'm like, when do you think you're dying?
So my husband and I have this approach when we travel, and it's like, you don't know that you're ever going to come back to this location. So do the things you want to do when you go because you might not come back, right? There's so many other places in the world. So are you going to come back? You never know. You never know. But in case you don't want to have regrets. Just like they say when you're at the Christmas markets, if you see something you want to buy, you should buy it then because you might not find it somewhere else.
You do have regrets on that.
Yeah, like there was an ornament I really wanted to buy, but it wasn't specific to anywhere we were. It just was pretty. And so I thought, well, let me not get it. And now I'm sad that I didn't get this random green ornament.
It was so pretty though.
It was so pretty. So I should have bought it. Yeah. And now I kind of feel like I'm scrambling, like, oh my God, I have to pick from whatever's available because we're running out of options.
Okay, so what was the next thing that you liked?
I think it's been nice that you have an opportunity to visit with other travelers and kind of build some friendships or relationships because you see the same people every day.
We've met some lovely couples.
Yes, we've met some lovely couples, and that has been nice because you don't normally get that with travelers, right? You're encountering someone while you're in passing on the train, right? Small kindnesses do appear, right? Someone helps you with your bag or something like that, but you don't ever remember
a 7-day relationship.
Yeah.
The likely chance that you're going to be in one location for 7 days is abnormal. Maybe it's like 3 to 4 if you're going to truly experience a place and still move on because that's just how Americans travel.
So that's been nice and unexpected because I haven't had that. Even like when I did the Alaska cruise with my husband, we just kept to ourselves. We didn't like.
Well, that's because there was like 2,500 people on it versus 150. But I think we're even Facebook friends with some of the couples now.
Oh, are we?
I am. She has like 7 different names on all of her Facebooks and Instagrams.
I'm undercover.
She's sneaky. But yeah, it's so fun because I have people from my first river cruise that I'm still Facebook friends with, and we chit chat and talk about how we're going to go on our next one, and then the last one I was on. So it brings in that camaraderie, and she of course injured herself on this trip. Everyone has been so kind in like when we're doing the tours that they're like making sure that they're slowing down for her, and that they are making sure that she's included. And I know that's the other one that's like a negative and a positive for you is the tour.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's talk about tours.
So I am not crazy about tours, and it's not specific to the destination, whether it's a museum, a factory, a town, a city. I don't super love tours. I hate feeling touristy when I'm in a location, which I know I already scream American. Most of us do. But I like to assimilate as much as possible. So I think first and foremost, I hate, the tours where you're walking around and you've got like an earpiece and like this little pouch bouncing off your chest, right? So it's like, okay, you've got that going on. And then we talked about this yesterday, Sydney and I, is that the information they share a lot of times is subjective, right? Oh, look at these people like polar plunge in it. That's insane. Like it is 50 degrees outside and they're swimming, so that's crazy. But we are doing a walking tour of Cologne, and what the guide was sharing with us, it was interesting and informative, but I thought there's so many different kind of ways, tentacles that the information could have gone or been shared. And some of them were kind of surprising, like, they're talking about floodwaters in the town or the city, and the mechanisms they put in place to try and minimize those risks and things like that, which, okay, is interesting, but that's definitely more modern, where, like, for someone like myself, I feel like I study World War II, and so, like,
they brought it in.
They brought in one story about the bridge, but their hello is a whole
No, they did. When we were in front of the Cologne Cathedral, they talked about how they bombed the entire city, and they used the cathedral as a landmark.
I know, but, like, out of the whole, so there was two things they brought up for World War II for the city, right? And, like, for me, if I was picking a tour, I think I would have picked one geared more towards history, if that was an option, right? Because I find that time period, of great interest, right? I'm a student, and I, feel like there's some things we can learn and apply to, our present day. So, like, I just thought to myself, oh my God, I would have wanted to hear more about that. I don't actually care about their flooding.
I was gonna say one thing you latched onto, and it was a 3-minute thing of the hour presentation.
Yeah. I
thought it was really interesting about the Ave Magdalena and how Cologne became part of the Holy Roman Empire through her idea that she wanted to be empress. Like, I thought that was...
Yeah, I think that was a good story. I guess I'm just saying, tours, they're subjective. You're getting whatever information your tour guide is sharing with you, right? So,
yeah.
I don't traditionally do tours when I go somewhere. I usually read up on the history, and then I pick my points of interest, and, like, that's how I do it. So, tours, good and bad. Like, I think it's great because you do get, an orientation to certain things. Like, the piece of history about how the city was originally named and how it came to be. That was very interesting. But yeah, it's not normally something I choose, because I hate traveling as a group as well. Like, there's the logistic. Now we have to get from the ship to the location. If it's not walking distance, there's a bus. And, like, yesterday, I left my cell phone on the bus. So how sad was I that I didn't have a phone all day to take pictures, right? I mean, it's my own fault. I left my phone. But, it takes time to get the group together, get the group off, get the group going. So it's just different. It's a different mode of travel than I'm accustomed to. So positives and negatives. Like Sydney said, the group has looked out for me. I hurt my knee. So yeah. It's personal.
It is. It's personal, and that's why I wanted to say it, because I think this is where it's like, if you resonate with that, I don't resonate with that at all, because when I go places and I don't have at least some sort of, like, idea or guide, I feel like I don't get to know the area, because, again, I get to learn interesting things from the tour guide that I never would have known. Like, there was a dirty statue that he showed us, right? I thought it was hilarious. I never would have known why they did it, what was the purpose and all that other stuff. And I prefer to learn from people versus, like, learning from a book, because I'll skim, I'll do the quick research, and I won't get the full experience of, Ave Magdalena, like, the story of the dirty statue, like that. And so I don't get me wrong, I don't like to be in a big group. That's why I like that it's a little bit smaller, like that 10 to 20 people versus like 50 to 60 that some other tour groups will do. I do like that there is the option for free time as well, because that was an hour-long tour. And then the rest of the day, we were able to explore. We didn't look like tourists as much anymore. And so it gives you that option to do it. And so it's like the mix for me of the best of both worlds for me, because I get to learn the history, the tours, and she's not a big church fan, and the whole time I'm like, we should go into the Strasbourg Cathedral, the Cologne Cathedral, it's so cool and pretty, and just the Gothic Renaissance of it. She doesn't care. It's not her personality. She wants to, like, be a local wherever she goes, and I like that, but I also don't mind being...
I just feel like churches, you've seen one, you've seen them all. Like, they're all competing with each other, but they're all similar. So it doesn't do it for me. But again, it's personal, right? What do you like to see? Where, I am really into taking pictures where there's no one in my pictures. And Sydney is like, I'm the complete opposite. I want you to see that I was there, right? So it's all personal. It's what is...
But her food photography is on point. Like, I'll give credit where credit's due. But yeah, you have to see this beautiful mug in all my photos.
So yeah, so it's just, it's just a different experience. Yeah, I think that is a nice feature about the trip, is you don't have to participate in the tours. So then your only limitation is, when and where and the length of time that you get to,
Yeah, and I will tell you, there is a river cruise company where if you want, like, the idea of a river cruise, but you don't want to do any tours, it's called Amadeus. And so that one, you're not paying for any tours. And so you kind of just use it as a floating hotel. But again, you do have the same sort of thing that we talked about, where you are limited by how long you stay there. But I think that's with every vacation, unless you've scheduled it where you're like, I have 3 days here, and then I don't have my next hotel booked. Right. And I think it gives a lot of people anxiety.
And I think that is something to be said too. Like, I solo traveled, on the first few days of this trip. But, like, you have to be willing to mess up,
Schlep.
get lost, schlep your shit. Like, there's a lot that goes into it, right? I mean, you're trying to figure out train stations. You know, you're like, picture this: you're just coming off an international flight, you're jet lagged, you're tired, and now you're landed in a foreign country, and you have to figure out the train system, right?
I literally sent you that meme.
So it's like, okay, you know, there's something so real about that, right? There's no one helping you with your luggage. There's really no one helping you figure out what train is what. By the way, Milan, please redo your train station. I hate it every single time I'm there. Thank you.
I'll make sure to tag him out.
Yeah. But like, you have to be adventurous, right? There's stuff that happens. It goes well, it goes wrong, like, and everything in between. So if that's not your type of travel, then the river cruise is probably exactly what you're looking for, because you're not schlepping your luggage every day. You're not going from place to place. You're not figuring out logistics on your own. So, you know, like how she said earlier, well, if this resonates with you, well, if you don't want to do anything that I just said, do not land travel, because that is what it's made of.
I was going to say, that's also going more budget land travel, because there are ways, and I have like local partners in each city and country where you can have more of the things. So for example, in Switzerland, they have the Swiss Bellman package where they pick up your luggage and it goes to the next place and you get to go to the train without it.
Yeah.
And so there is ways that you can do it. But again, that is something that costs a lot more money when you start adding all those pieces together than a river cruise.
Yeah. So it's really, what do you want your vacation to look like? Like, what is that? What's going to fill your bucket?
Yeah, because what filling her bucket is like exploring and getting deep and dirty into these destinations, and kind of, I think she spent more time on the train than she did anywhere else, even sleeping.
Yeah.
On her first 5 days in Switzerland. Now, when we were talking to people, it's like, do you like to be able to just turn your brain off and be like, here are the activities I can do for the day? I love that. Or you can get a massage like I did today. So I think there are pros and cons, and it's not that you haven't had a good time on this vacation. It's just that I just wanted to highlight some things that if this resonates with you, because I've had clients who are like, I thought river cruising was going to be different, and I can tell them everything ahead of time on what it's going to look like, how it's going to be, but you just don't know until you try it if you're okay with the amount of like, there is a certain part of it that's guided. There's a certain part of it that's like, you can only get off the ship and get on the ship at this time. Right. Is it more than on an ocean cruise? Yes. Mm-hmm. Like, are you closer to the city than you would be on an ocean cruise? Yes. In the Mediterranean. But you still, like, the Rhine has a little bit more, like, buses than the Danube does. Like, for this one, I think half of our stops we could have walked into the city, and the other half we were, you know, still 20 minutes away, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Because Cologne, we were walking distance. We walked back.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But on Rudolstein, we were walking distance, but we had that fun little train. And so those are just things to think about and then, you know, put into perspective when you are thinking about your next river cruise. We are currently getting off of ours tomorrow. We are actually arriving into Amsterdam as we speak. We've been exploring the Rhine for the Christmas markets. Okay, so before we get done, what's been your favorite thing that you bought so far on the trip?
That I bought?
Well,
I feel like I have been judicious with my money and my space. So I feel like I did a good job of intentionally picking things that I thought would either bring joy to someone or add value to my own life. So like, one thing I'm really excited about is that in Germany, what was the little cute medieval town? Rudolstein. In Rudolstein, I got these beautiful olive wood cooking utensils because I'm all about like low tox, non-tox, little granola there. So I was excited to add to my repertoire for my kitchen. So that's something I got for myself personally. I have 2 little boys at home, my little babies, and my older son, who's 3.5, is really into bad guy, good guy play right now. So we found these beautifully handcrafted wooden swords that a gentleman from Poland made. And so picked those up for my son. Super excited about that. Yeah, and then yesterday in Cologne, there was a merchant who was selling like candy, and it's fun lollipops and things like that. So I got
we saw them making it.
Yeah. And so I got my sons a couple lollipops there. My aunt specifically wanted an ornament, so I got her beautiful glass ornament decorated for one of the little towns in Germany. I got some chocolates when we were in Switzerland and Bern from this very fancy chocolatier.
Yeah, I've already
have those in my bag. In fact, when I was packing today, I found them. I kind of forgotten about them. Also in Switzerland at the Onion Festival in Bern, I got like an onion jam. And then I got these 2, I bought 2 of them. They're a traditional Swedish cake. It's kind of like a nut bread. I got 2 of those. Yeah, I've been a little light on the shopping. I definitely have a few things left that I'm hoping to find. I need to get like a Secret Santa gift for my mom. Sorry, I have you, Mom.
I think you should get something with the Royal Delft on it. Like the blue and white.
Something.
Yeah.
So yeah, so hoping to find something great in Amsterdam. So I really like everything I've bought so far for different reasons. But if I had to pick a favorite, which was your question, I think I'm excited to give my sons the swords.
It's gonna be so cute.
So yeah, hopefully they're not sharp, so hopefully they're not going to poke their eye out. But
we did test.
Yeah, if they're going to poke their eye out with something, they're going to poke their eye out with something. It's not going to be the swords, right? Like it could be anything.
Their fingers.
Yeah, it could be anything. So yeah,
I've just literally collected mugs from every single spot we've been, and I have no idea I'm going to pack them all.
Yeah, and I try not to do mugs because I hate having to clean out that dang cabinet. So I did get one. I got one from a Christmas market on purpose. Strasbourg. It was very cute. Was it? It was Heidelberg. Yeah, Heidelberg. So that one's my favorite. And then I ended up with one yesterday by default.
Yeah, we forgot to return.
Yeah, I didn't return it to the
Well, that was a nice thing, though.
Yeah.
Alma Waterways gave us a mug. So we got in Cologne, and then on the Danube, it's Vienna. You get a ticket for a free blue vine with a mug. So basically, Alma Waterways gave us one for free. Nice.
Yeah. So brought that mug home. But yeah, so still looking for some more souvenirs, but I have got.
Start giving those out as presents, though.
Yeah.
The mugs.
Yeah. If you're getting one from me, just go la 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 la. It wasn't recycled, okay? It's upcycled, repurposed. So yeah.
Ooh, I like it. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah. Let's see. Now I'm gonna turn the tables and I'm gonna
Okay.
give one to Sydney. Tell me about the weather. If someone's taking a cruise at this time of year, because that's something when we've made friends with people on the ship, we've heard weather as a source of frustration. But I mean, there is something to be said for you're taking a river cruise in November.
Right.
So, what is November like at your house? Unless you're living somewhere where it's like Southern California or maybe Hawaii, chances are it's cloudy, it's chilly, sometimes it's raining, right? So it's no different.
So again, like it's not going to magically be. I was wanting snow, and it snowed like the week before we got here and had already melted.
I got snow. Yeah.
Some of us can't. Look, I'm going on a trip next month, so like I can't be mad at her for leaving early, but I was severely tempted. Weather is subjective, right? So I can look up the weather and be like, there's a 20% chance of rain if we look a year out, and then it can rain the week too. It is going to be colder. It's the Christmas markets. You are drinking mulled wine for a reason, but I don't think that should dissuade from your
swinging. I'm sorry to interrupt, but there's someone swinging from the very top of that building.
Do you want to go do?
That's interesting. If you're coming to Amsterdam, evidently you can be on a high rise.
30. It's literally like 30 feet, 30 stories too.
Okay. Right.
It's all for the gram.
Interesting. Sorry.
No, it's okay. So like most people who want to do river cruises want to do the shoulder season, and that's going to be the most expensive time to do a river cruise. Is going to be that like September, October. It's going to be the busiest. It's going to be because most people who are taking river cruises are older, who don't want to have to deal with children, and so that is going to be your like most busiest time. Now, the end of November is going to be the best time to go on a Christmas markets cruise, or the week of Christmas, because that's going to be where your Christmas markets are still going to be open, because we've hit the opening of almost every market we've been on so far. It's going to be open, but it's not going to have as many crowds as the first 2 weeks of December. And so that plays into the price, it plays into the experience, but you're also more likely to get rain in November than you are to get snow like you are in the middle to late December into January. Because with Mother Nature the way it is, it can really be anything. Now, on this trip, we've had 2 days of rain, two and a half. Mm-hmm. Like in Rudesheim, it didn't rain. Then as soon as we started the Rhine Gorge, it poured.
Right.
And it wasn't supposed to rain that day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have to like set expectations, which if you have a travel advisor, that's something that I help with and kind of set expectations. I have gone in the first week of November on a trip a couple years ago, and I had sun the entire time. Like I was stripping layers the whole time. But we haven't really been cold.
It's been, I think, thematic. Like, we're at the Christmas markets. It would be weird if it was hot, right?
But it's not. It's not like we were wearing gloves.
I think there's only been one day that Sydney wore gloves. I have not worn gloves because that's a story for another day. That's how I injured my knee. So I have not worn gloves. So yeah, no, it hasn't been overly chilly or anything like that. So
it's been like 30s to 50s. Yeah.
And even the rain isn't intolerable. For the most part, it rains and it stops. So yeah, like the 2.5 days of rain we had, it wasn't like persistent all day. So there was breaks in the weather. But I mean, again, it's November. It's late November. Like it's technically not winter, but it might as well be winter.
Yeah.
So what happens in winter? It's chilly. It's colder. But there's a trade-off, right? Like the Christmas markets were less crowded because people were home for Thanksgiving and things like that. So that was a plus of traveling. I say people are home. American tourists, right? We're the only ones who celebrate Thanksgiving. But that was a plus because it's not as crowded.
Well, thank you so much for entertaining me and doing this thing, because I want people who go on these vacations to not be shocked by what they experience and to understand like what is done. And I'm someone who loves it. I am a cruiser through and through. So I like want people who might not have that general knowledge to kind of see it from an opposite viewpoint.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we'll be honest, she hates the fact that there's someone who does notifications every morning.
Oh my God.
Who's like, hey, in 15 minutes.
On the PA system, like
it doesn't go into the room. It just is in the common areas where it's like, hey, you know, your tour leaves in 15 minutes. I hope you're ready. And it drives her insane.
It does.
So like that's just a different type of travel. Like I went on a river cruise and they didn't have that. And I missed out on the trip because I was putting on those cute little freckles. I ran out of time.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I see the appeal and the different stages of life that, you know, it's probably great for. So yeah, it's not a negative, and I think everyone should experience something so they can make an informed decision, right? Data informed decision.
Okay, nerd.
It's important for people to experience it, to have that as a comparison.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you guys to continue to, you know, like, follow, and enjoy this podcast. If you have anything that you would want me or someone else to discuss, I don't mind bringing them on. And I will continue on with my comparison series. I just got a little bored with it, I'm not going to lie. But I hope you had the most wonderful Thanksgiving, and I cannot wait for you to experience the joy of Christmas and maybe the Christmas markets.